And welcome to the Monday edition of the Barry Cunningham Show, where we're going to talk about an extremely huge opportunity in the market right now and coming up. So today you're going to want to stay tuned, and if you're watching this on the replay, buckle up. We're going to have a great show today.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
So as I said, this is very important. We're going to be talking about how millions, and literally millions of people, may lose their home in the next 30 to 60 days, maybe even 90 days. But millions of people are in trouble, and a good portion of those people are here in South Florida. I didn't create this market. It wasn't us. It was this crazy COVID stuff that really, if you look at it deeply, isn't that bad here in the state of Florida. So we're going to look at that data really quick as I've begun showing you this, because I want you to see how the media is blowing this out of proportion. So when we go to the board today, we can see that there are close to 1 million cases in the state of Florida. But what exactly does that mean, and what should you be looking at, especially as a business person? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to page 2, as I normally do, and we're going to see the cases that have occurred over the last 30 days. And it looks like the biggest spike was back on November 14th, when there was 9,900 cases. Almost 10,000 cases. And then yesterday there was 6,500 cases. So when you're looking at this, it looks like, oh my God, 6,000, 7,000, 9,000, nearly 10,000 people are getting the Rona. Yeah, there's all kinds of weird stuff going on, but that's the data that they want you to focus on and keep you scared. That's the data that's fueling everything you see in the media. Yet, when you go and look at the data in terms of who's actually succumbing to this disease, I can't even put up my picture in picture because it would cover the data. You can read a trend line if you're understanding what trend lines are. November 13th, we had 58 people meet their demise because of the Rona, and it has literally dropped off the table. I mean, on the 25th, we had 6. 26th, we had 10. On the 27th, we had 4. On the 28th, we had 7. And yesterday, we had 4. 4 people in the entire state of 21 million people. From the top of Jacksonville to the west of the Panhandle, down to the tip of Key West, there was a grand total of 4 people. Unfortunately, no one is making light of death, but it would be insane to shut down the entire state because of such a minimusly, if that's a word, affected group of people. I feel completely upset for the family and compassionate towards their loss of the people who have lost their lives over the last couple of days, actually from the entire thing. It's horrible. But if you took all the deaths combined from the entire state from day one, you still only represent a very, 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 and I could probably say it 10 times, very tiny percentage of the people in the state of Florida. Now, what's happening here in the state of Florida is that people from other parts of the country who, one, A, are dealing with now the weather's changing on them, and B, the tyrannical nature of the governments in these areas locking them down. There was a news report today that 30% of the businesses in New York are gone, closed. 30%, never to return, gone. How do you make that up? And so a lot of these people, we're finding out they're going to basically stake their new claim here down in Florida. And an article came up in the Miami Herald last week, said the floodgates have opened. 2020 sees a surge of business transplants to South Florida. the market down here is beginning to explode. All those people coming down, they're going to need some place to live. Remember, good people, bad situation. Good people. Hey, had a thriving restaurant in New York City, and now all of a sudden I can't open. You know what? I need to get out of New York. I need to get out of New Jersey. I need to get out of Connecticut. This is insane. We're going to move to Florida, and we're going to reopen our business down here. And for us in the real estate investing business, this is a time for us to make money. Do not be upset with the gloom and doom. Don't buy into it. That's all I can say. Don't buy into it from a business perspective of buying and selling real estate. We are in a commodity business that just happens to come with some land. That's how you have to look at it. We buy and sell real estate. We are not emotionally attached to the property. If you continue to be able to look at real estate in that way, you will know that the opportunity that's being afforded us is amazing. So much so that we are getting really, really busy here. My wife, the phone just keeps ringing. We're showing properties. I'm buying properties. And so I'm going to try and do as many of these shows as possible. It may not be every day. I think what I'm going to change to is I'm going to do some pre-recorded videos, maybe some quick hits, 3, 4, 5 minutes, as many as I possibly can. Use the different networks, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, get that message out. And then Friday, I'll probably start doing, a recap of what's gone on for the week, because we're just so busy. So if you don't see me doing this as a live, or you're probably not watching it live anyway, so you may not even miss and see the change. You may just start searching and all of a sudden my smiling mug just shows up, which is fine with me, because what we're seeing right now and how this is going to change real estate from the retail side as well as the investing side for years. What we're seeing right now is something we haven't seen since 2007 and 2008. I've said it many, many times. Let me go back to that thing I just keep here. And, I always said, if you had a crystal ball, what would you do? If you knew what was going to happen, what would you do and how would you set yourself up? And I've told people over and over and over for the last 30 days, I don't sell courses. I'm not looking to make money in teaching somebody how to do this. I'm looking to make money with partnering with people who want to invest in real estate. You can go ahead and buy a course, but if you're involved in the actual deal, you're actually going to see how this stuff works. And right now, we're seeing deals that just, if you've been in this business for any period of time and you've got data on your computer that shows you what happened back in the crisis of 2007, 2008, this crisis is going to make that crisis look small. If you were around, how the whole thing with Countrywide and the robo stamping of foreclosures and what was going on. This is going to make that look really small. And they're going to need investors. So get your money together, get your team together. If you're a rehabber, get that together. My focus is telling you what's happening, how it's going to come. And in that regard, we may butt heads and find a couple deals that we're bidding on against each other. That's fine. There's so much to go around. There's so many houses, so many deals. It's going to be an amazing. I'm smiling because I can't impart on you enough to be ready for this. The crystal ball is no longer needed. The time is here. And, one of the other things that I talked about for a long time was, something that Warren Buffett said. I'm going to bring that up again. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Be greedy when others are fearful. Right now, with some of these states going absolutely insane and closing down and closing down and closing down. You can't go to work, can't go to school, can't have Thanksgiving, can't go to church. People have had enough. And they're coming down here to Florida, and they're going to need a place to live. And thank God we've got a governor like Governor DeSantis that's going to allow us all to prosper in a big way. And I'm going to talk to you about that in 1 second. So you're about to see the commercial. Go ahead and jot down the phone number. Call me. Make sure you call me and let me know if you want to get involved in a deal here in South Florida, and I'll see you in 30 seconds.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market. Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.
All right, people, here we go. I'm going to show you something right now that came out in Bloomberg News. Mike's on. We're just checking the levels. I'm the producer here, too. And what I'm going to show you may really frighten some people. But remember what happens when people are afraid. Remember when people are afraid. It means it's time for you to be greedy. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in terms of business, making your profits. Now, the whole thing about today's show was about something I read that said millions of Americans expect to lose their homes as COVID rages. Millions. This is what I wanted to talk to you about today. This is the meat and potatoes of tuning in. This is what other people may not even be showing you. But this article ran in the paper on the 23rd. I just happened to see it. And it says, economics, this is from Bloomberg Wealth. Millions of Americans expect to lose their homes as COVID rages. Millions. Understand that number. Millions. Almost 18 million adults are behind their mortgage or rent payments. The CDC suspension, as I've been talking to you about, the moratorium on foreclosures and on evictions. That CDC moratorium that we don't know what's going to happen with these elections and the results and who's going to do what. So we don't know what's going to happen. But on December 31st, those moratoriums expire. I'm a betting man. Well, sometimes I like to play poker. But I would bet that Trump would go ahead and extend that. And if he's in office, deal with it in January. And if he's out of office, it'll become Biden's problem. I doubt they're going to let that expire. I don't think they can afford, I don't think any government can afford to make 18 million people potentially homeless. Now, a good portion of those people will still end up needing to sell their property. But 18 million people on the street, I just don't see it happening. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out real soon. And you better be ready. So let's take a look at this article and what they're saying here. So I'm going to scroll down here, and hopefully you guys can see this. Let me close this commercial. I'm going to make this even bigger. All right. So when you look at this, and it says about 5.8 million adults say they are somewhat to very likely to face eviction or foreclosure in the next 2 months. 18 million people are in these households. 5.8 million adults. Survey was completed by the U.S. Census Bureau, and it says that 17.8 million adults in these households are behind rent or mortgage payments. 17.8 million people. Let's just round that up to 18 and talk about that. We know there's a ton here in South Florida. You can just look at the default notices and just go through them depending on which court is near you, whether you're in Broward, Dade, or Palm Beach, and you can see the number of filings. Check the list pendences. Go ahead into any court search and look for list pendants and use the date of January 1, 2020. Because a lot of these things have just been sitting there. They haven't been able to be adjudicated. Then you look at final judgments, FJ. Look at final judgments since January 2020 and see how many of those are just sitting there. and you're going to be absolutely gobsmacked. You are going to not believe how many properties are in foreclosure. It's a veritable cornucopia of profit making dead ahead. You don't need the iceberg analogy anymore. You don't need the crystal ball. We now have factual data, which is something I live for. I love numbers. Hashtag numbers don't lie. I live for numbers. So now we know, unfortunately, there are 18 million people about to get thrown out of their homes. Now, I'm going to show you a graph, and this graph is stunning. This graph is going to blow you away, or at least it should if you're in real estate investing. So they're talking about this being the dark winter, and the percentage of adults living in households not current or on rent or mortgage, where eviction or foreclosure is likely in the next 2 months. Likely or very likely. All right, so look at this map, and it shows you the colors. We're only 11%, and it goes all the way up to 41% plus. And look where Florida is. Florida is in the bright red, bright pink, however you want to look at it. We're in an area here where there's just 41 plus percent of people. So if 41 is the beginning, so we're between 41 and above percent of the households are in very likely to be in eviction or foreclosure. Think about that. Think about that. If 41% of the people who own or living, residing in South Florida are in a state where they're likely to be foreclosed or evicted in the next 60 days, that is the definition of motivated seller. There are probably people who haven't contacted realtors yet to sell. There are people who are, like I've said, good people in bad situations. There are people who have equity. These aren't just, look at this. Look at this map. Florida is basically one of the brightest states here. This is incredible. And they go through here and they talk about all the different laws. I can't get this thing off here. All the different acts that they sign, and the CDC's prevention of nationwide temporary suspension on evictions and foreclosures. And we know it's going to expire on the 31st. But this map is your gold mine. And I don't want to get the comments, and I don't want to get all the people who are all in uproar about people, what's the saying they keep telling me? Oh yeah, you're feeding on people's misfortune. The unfortunate plight of others you're feeding upon. I had to tell one guy, just my behind. Doctors, lawyers, tow truck drivers. The bad side of life is a profitable enterprise. I didn't do that. I didn't make it. But it's a profitable enterprise. People have to get well if they're sick. The doctors get paid. When the lawyers come in because someone has been aggrieved, they get paid. When a car gets into an accident and the tow truck goes and pulls it out of the ditch, tow truck driver gets paid. When a house goes into foreclosure, bank says, hey, we need the house. We're not the ones filing on them. We're not the ones that are going to say, hey, listen, we're going to kick you out your house. It's not us. We're the bank is doing that. We're just giving you a way out. We're going to show you that just like the tow truck driver, the doctor, the lawyer, the funeral homeowner. You can go through a list of people who make money on the downside of things. It just happens. If you can get over that hump and understand that you are going to be in a position where you're going to profit because of something that negatively happened, then you're going to understand how big the opportunity is. I keep going back to this is because when you're looking at this and you're seeing that 18 million people are behind on their mortgage or rent and they're about to be evicted or foreclosed upon, we're the guy in the bullpen. We're the team that gets sent in. We're, SEAL Team 6. We're the ones that go in and make it right. How do you think the economy recovers? That's a good question. I got to start asking people that. How do you think the economy recovers from the doldrums? Do you think it just, we just blink hard and it just comes back? Do you think that there's some sort of, genie that's going to grant 3 wishes and, the economy is going to come back? Or does it take people who are basically SEAL Team 6 members that go into communities, rehab houses, do what we need to do to get people back into some sort of position where they're viable in the community? That's what we're looking to do. And now that you know that's the situation, you have to understand that right now there are literally hundreds of thousands of people in South Florida who are terrified. They don't know what's going to happen in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. They're terrified. They're full of fear. What does that mean? Well, that means it's time for us to get greedy. It means it's time for us to understand the opportunity that's before us. So, get your data correct, understand what you need to do. I'm sorry, there's a lot of people out there who feel that housing is a human right. I can't address that. It doesn't say that in the Constitution. It's not a human right. I'm not the government. I'm not creating these laws. You're not the government. You're not evicting anybody. You're not foreclosing on anybody. But you have to be there to help rebuild the community. This is a huge, huge problem in South Florida and nationwide. They're going to dark winter. We are going to see a true dark winter for millions of Americans. Now, if the government steps in and extends a moratorium, then fine. If they find some way to, give some sort of abatement or permanent forbearance so some of these people can stay in their homes, then fine. I do not have a problem with that. I want to be the first one to say is I hope these people find some viable resolve. I hope to God, and I do mean that somehow things are made better, that these people find solace, that there's a place for them, there's a home, something they can have confidence in. I really, really hope that is true. That's my personal opinion. My business opinion is we need to be ready. We need to be ready for that call. As investors, there are going to be hundreds and thousands of people who can't stay in their home. And I'm going to say something else. There are going to be a large amount of people who don't want to stay in their home. And that's something that people never think of. If I was the hair salon owner or the restaurateur and I was making decent money and I got shut down, well, the first thing that happens with any of us is self-preservation. So if you had 50 grand in the bank and your business got shut down, do you think you're spending that money and going to pay off all that arrear, or do you want to start fresh? You want to start fresh in a new location. I think I have that answer for you. I have that answer for you right here. All those people who came from up north, who are fleeing other areas, they didn't stay in New York and California. Well, maybe not California, but New Jersey, Connecticut, Massachusetts. They didn't stay there and try to redo, rebuild, build back better. They didn't try to do that. They're like, we're out. We're taking whatever remaining cash we have with us, and we're heading to South Florida. So if they're coming here, they need to be served. They need to be shown that we can help them do something. We can help them rebuild their lives. And at the same time, the people who want to stay in South Florida, but not particularly in the home that they're in, that's an extreme opportunity for us. Don't be ashamed of that. I'm not. I know I've done very well in helping people get out of a bad situation. I have no doubt about that. I know I've gone to bat for them with the banks. I've gotten reductions. I've gotten all kinds of things. I've gotten liens removed from the city. I've gone in and repaired property that out of my own pocket before the city would even allow me to take title. I've done all these things. So I know what's coming. And I know that these people who are fleeing need some place to live. I know these people who are in Florida right now who want to stay in Florida but can't make up a year's worth of back payments, who may have some equity. They're not going to get a HELOC. It's not going to happen. But they do have enough equity to where we can buy the property, get them some cash, get them some moving on money. They're going to feel really good about it. I don't mean to preach, but this is the business that we're in. Or as Hyman Roth said, this is the business that we've chosen. You're a real estate investor. That's why you're watching this video. You want to make money in real estate. So now is the time to get your butts in front of your computers, start doing your due diligence. Go to the Broward County court records. Go to the Miami-Dade court records. Go to the Palm Beach County court records. Search list pendencies from January of last year. Search final judgments of foreclosure from January of last year. Start looking at which one of those properties that are on those lists are for sale versus the ones that aren't for sale. Build yourself a database. Go to monday.com. It's like nothing to build a database and import all of these different data so that you have some place to go and click a button every morning and say, boom, wow, here's a property. This one looks pretty good. This one looks for sale. Monday.com is probably the best dashboard that you can create yourself and customize. I've used it for over a year now, and I bring in data from the public records and I bring in data from the MLS that my wife pulls down for me, and now I can do a query according to what I'm looking for. I can say, show me all the houses in this zip code with this much equity that have a final judgment, and boom, I've got a list. And I can start trying to contact the homeowners and cut deals. That's what you need to be doing right now, because if you wait till it happens, it's going to be too late. There's going to be too many people down here trying to find deals. How do I know? Because I was there before. We went through this before. In 2007, 2008, it was just a nightmare. Get out there in front. Start making videos like this. You don't have to be professional. You don't have to, have a studio. I started with my cell phone when I started making these videos before I put this together. Now I'm doing this one live. I'm going to be doing some pre-recorded stuff. Got the wife getting ready to get in front of the camera. She's been there. She's pretty. But the whole idea is to get yourself out in the market. I want to know when I walk into a restaurant, when I walk into a theater, when I walk into a closing, the people already know me. They know that I can close these deals. They know that, hey, listen, here's a guy. I know he knows what he's talking about. I can go back and watch his videos for the last year. That's what you need to be doing, because building that relationship and that rapport with agents is going to be very, very important. And trust me, people will check you out. And I know that my offers, even if it's the same as somebody else's, get a higher relevance and get looked at better. I make sure I put all my links when I have Robin send in an offer. Hey, you think we're for real? Go ahead and check out our website. Seriously, go check out our website right now. Check out our YouTube channel. We've been doing this. We've been here. We're credible. You can search us on Google. You can search us on YouTube. We're out there. Some idiot tried to poach my Instagram page, which is not really that much of a business page, but he tried to poach it. We shut him down like that. There's going to be scammers. There's going to be people out there who try to do what you do, but build your brand. You are your brand. I am my brand. Now is the time to put this all together. I mean, it's one thing you take away from this is this right here. Be greedy when others are fearful. Don't be shameful. Hold your head up high. Walk in knowing you are BMOC. Look that up. BMOC. And know that there are people who are going to need your help drastically. People who are going to be in search of people like you and like me. People who are getting ready to lose their homes. Millions. The title of that article, millions of Americans expect to lose their homes. Millions. I can't stress that enough. I wanted to bring this news to you today because I don't have any way of really reaching out and grabbing you and shaking you. And this video was to grab you and shake you and go, wake up. If you want to make money in real estate, slap you. Now is the time to get ready. You hate like that? Like me slapping you? I like to slap people when they're not realizing what's in front of them. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Even if there are people who are about to lose their home, you can get in this and make money, probably more than you were making before. This is the time that real estate investors need to rise to the occasion. We've waited, we've seen all the craziness, and now, depending on what happens with the election, we're just a matter of time. It's not an if, it's a when. One of these things is going to be released. And I'm telling you right now, the biggest source of profit are the people who don't want to wait. People who have moved down here, people who are sitting in homes that are like, I need to get back on my feet again. Don't wait till, the evictions and foreclosures happen. Start now. Start approaching people who are behind and find those good people who are in bad situations. If you can find enough good people who are in bad situations, you're going to make a crap load of money. And this next, I'd say 12 to 18 months is going to be a fantastic ride. I mean, an absolutely fantastic ride. I looked at a house before the holiday. Again, it's in Fort Lauderdale. Gorgeous house. House is worth probably 1.1, 1.2. I think we're going to be able to pick it up for like 700. That might be something we end up keeping. That one might be one we move into. It's an absolutely fantastic looking house. And if we can build in $300,000 or $400,000 in equity, that might be, unless I can find someone who really, really, really wants to take that house, that's going to be something that we're probably going to move into in Fort Lauderdale. But we'll see. In the meantime, I've got people emailing me. I've got people calling me. I got people who want to do business. If you're out there and you want to do business, I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to speak with you. Again, my name is Barry Cunningham. I forgot to do my lower. I was so excited I forgot to do my lower third earlier. People who watch this maybe not know me, but if you're watching my videos, you know who I am. Now you guys just got to give me a call. Give me a call if you want to do some business. I would love to speak with you. I'm building that network. We're going to close some deals. We're going to make some money in 2021, and we're not going to be ashamed for being capitalist. Talk to you tomorrow, maybe. If not, watch for a video to get posted, but give me a call.
Your source for profit. Hear what you need to know to succeed in today's real estate market.